doesn't exist.
Yeah, I guess I go with that. Yeah.
So if you're saying that it's like, well, I'm dead on the inside, well, you being anything other than that proves that that's not entirely the case.
It's very arbitrary.
It's
So,
like
yeah.
it's like seeking consistency, and
Yeah.
then supposed to actually finding consistency. And I understand that, because when it comes to NI sort of stuff, I want to be able to piece together all this stuff because I want certainty. There's like this thing with NI compared to NE that it feels like there's more of a crisis of confidence, where it's like you're trying to find this sort of zero sum or like origin, like you're trying to put all these pieces together to try to find like the answer or the result or something like that. And
yes.
TI, as far as the logical components of things, is necessary because you need to be able to sort of categorize logical nuances.
Yes.
And with FI, you need to be able to categorize emotional nuances and stuff like that. So it's
yes.
like, if you're TI seeking and you're FI ignoring, then it's like those sort of metrics, or I don't know what other word you would use for it, systems of categorizing are sort of kind of put off to the side in a way.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I was talking about with the perception thing, is that there's a drive, or at least I'm assuming that for ENFJs, there's a drive for sort of this NI creative, sort of like trying to pull together what's going on and trying to essentially paint a picture out of it, trying to get an answer out of it. But
right, correct.
If you're not able to pick up on those different nuances, the particulars of logic and emotion, then it's not going to be an accurate picture. That's what I'm saying.
Right. But I do the TI work, actually. Mm-hmm. But I do it not by telling people, because I can't do it like that. I do it in my mind, and when it's finished, I could tell it to people. I can't process it in the moment most of the time. Unless, if I'm very high in ego, I could process TI in the moment like this, or TE. I could overrun the functions with feeling and chemical balance. That's how I do it, I guess. So technically, I could be an ENTJ if I want to. That's what I'm saying. But I know that it's going to be bad for me, because it's going to come to a point where nature wins nurture. I know that. It's like weird, but so this form of thinking made me before.
Well, nature versus nurture is talking about your upbringing and how you were raised. That does not make sense in the statement you just made.
Does it? Okay. How was I raised? My mom.
Well, you used the phrase nature versus nurture, right?
Yeah.
Nature versus nurture is just the common term for the huge discussion in the field of psychology, where people are saying that as a good example, psychopath and sociopathy, as we talked about earlier, just to make it be referable to earlier conversation. A sociopath is something you can become. Or something you become. A psychopath is something you're born as. That's the big difference between the two. But one is nature, one is nurture, and that's the big debate. Some psychiatrists also use the terms interchangeable, because they believe it's just a combination. But you have a huge discussion on it. So, yeah, nature is how you're born. Nurture is how you were raised.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, that's right. But it's also how you can associate to those values. Like you could associate to being born, and because you were born, you have these common first experiences, traits of when you were 0 to when you were 8 years old. And with that, you have the understanding that, okay, well, I had a lifestyle that's like this. This is my basic experimental root understanding of my life, and this is how it developed further on. This is how I developed the way of understanding what I'm believing in and the way I'm reacting to certain situations, and also the alterations of my mind, the chemical understanding, how my chemical process works. Is my frontal lobe active or inactive? Is my medulla active or inactive? And then you go about checking that.
Why don't you go take a CAT scan then? Check if your amygdala is smaller than the average one. Because if you're a psychopath or have any of these tendencies, your amygdala will be physically smaller. Go check it out. I mean, it's just a CAT scan.
But the CAT scan, a guy told me, is like $1 million. It's only for rich people.
Oh, you're fucking kidding me! It will cost you like at absolute most, $100.
The guy was a fucking ass. But see, what as an ENTP, what did you do that made you so, like, not really considerate about people's emotions that much? Like, I know ENTPs that they don't really.
Whatsoever.
I get the logic behind ENTP, and guess what? The thing about being a daredevil, I was the biggest daredevil in school. But I did it through like aggressive sarcasm. I don't know if ENTPs usually do it through that form of motive. And the motive was so aggressive that I ended up burning my cousin's house halfway down because that was
healthy.
Yeah. I know, and I enjoyed every bit of it. Like, if I burn an entire place down, I could be smiling about it and like giving zero shits.
And again, we're talking about fantasy versus reality.
No.
I mean,
I realistically,
I can easily imagine killing people. I do not believe I have the capacity to actually do it.
But if you don't have a border between reality and delusion, what stops you from doing it?
That's what I'm telling you. And that's what I'm asking you.
Yeah, there is no border. So you're saying but I don't want
for
to
you you're saying for you it's that there is no border between reality and
well, if I'm in this mind state, then no, because I'm neglecting half of my mindful functions. So if I don't have a phi, I could do it. I mean, a phi. Yeah, is that the one? Yeah, a phi. Then I could do a lot more crazy stuff because I don't feel it anymore. It's like I could be a psychopath if I wanted, and I wouldn't care because it would confuse me. The delusions would be so strong that I would forget about everything. But I don't want to do that. Yeah, so I don't understand it. And this whole empathy thing, like if I would be very suitable to not have empathy for people if I wanted to, but I don't want to because I want to change that. But I'm saying I want to go back to my narcissistic nature or whatever that form of thinking I have and show you guys what it felt like for educational purposes.
First of all, you cannot show us how you feel.
No, but by expression, by giving you the thought process, by telling you the logic.
I mean, I have enough in my mind, so.
Yeah. Well, is this similar to like how you are like, or would you go and burn stuff? I don't know.
I'm not a psychopath, and no, I'm not a pyromaniac either. So
I see.
I kind of understand what he's talking about though, with like pushing stuff, because I haven't pushed it to the point of arson, but then again, I haven't had as many people in my life that would push me to that or encouraged me to do that. When people do encourage me to do stuff, I'd go along with it sometimes, and I guess what I'm saying is
I love Oh yeah, sorry. Go.
No, I was just gonna say when that sort of border of reality is sort of
Arson.
iffy, then you can do more. However, I've found that I
know,
snap back, not necessarily in this can be a super hard way. It depends, but
you can, yeah. You have that border personality, or how do you say it?
Yeah.
I'll give you a website where you can read a bit about it, but you have to be objective when you read it. And one more thing regarding psychology, if you read a lot about psychology, you can fake anything you want. Psychology is not a real science. As when I say that, I mean it has no real purpose. I mean it has no real evidence. It's not evidence based. It's always a subjective opinion by the individual psychiatrist. So you can go to a psychiatrist and just list off tons of symptoms that you have read in a book, and they will have to believe you on your word. That's all.
Okay. I see.
Isn't that more of an issue with the institution of psychology?
I would say that's a problem in its whole, because I would say that all psychology should really be neurology, because all thoughts, everything you do, everything you think about, it's all chemistry. It's all chemistry in your brain.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, so pumping your head.
Yeah, I'd consider neurology more like the science and psychology more like the art of dealing with the human brain.
I see. Okay, then that makes sense. But I was gonna say something else. I was gonna say like, let me try to remember it. Yeah. When I was a kid, tell me if this is normal. Well, obviously it's not normal, but maybe some of you have tendencies like that. When I first saw, no, I have remorse. I have inner remorse. I went on forums. My friends sent me a video link to a website where there was a guy getting murdered, and then another link to another website. And when I watch those murderish videos, I don't understand, and I never understood from birth why people freak out about it. To me, it was like, whatever, it's just what it is. And other individuals, they are saying like, oh my God, this is scary, or oh my God, and everybody's screaming. They're like, oh, this is a little bit scary, this is not as scary. And to me, it's like, no, this is normal. This is fine. This is not even graphic. And like, I seen videos where people get their like head cut off by the Mexican cartel, and the blood gushing everywhere. And all I feel is bad for that individual. But the amount of pain that this experience shows me through like the best gore stuff, I'd watch like 100 to 500 videos, and I would just see human nature, and that would be it. I wouldn't even, feel all that much empathy. But I would come up with plans how to kill a killer in the position of
Look at just blacked out.
You just blacked out? Who just blacked out?
No, he lagged out.
Oh,
like Loki. Loki's not here.
Oh, I see. Damn it, Loki. So this basically, from birth I was able to not be very hypersensitive, and most ENFJs are hypersensitive, which confuses me. So I don't really.
I could have sworn I was talking to another ENFJ that was like, when they were younger, they seriously thought they were like dead on the inside.
Really?
They thought they didn't feel any emotions at all. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I mean. So it's like that type of feeling, right? And the idea, what I did before is I went on a serial killer website and I posted in my address, and I took a picture of myself and I said, go kill me. And then I was sitting with a knife on my couch waiting for the ring of the doorbell to start a fight with the killer, because I thought that the killer was not very moral. So I decided to, these were some thoughts I had.
How old were you?
I was like 12, 14.
Yeah, that's like around the age that I was I was like really starting to get into like,
Yeah.
just darker stuff.
Yeah, me too. I read about witchcraft as well. But I'm not a